This will be the first video working on shot calling, and it's a drill I used called the P.A.C drill. Predict, assess, and correct. We're often told how we should see the sights entering the target. With the dot, maybe it drops from the top. We want to center up the front side, equal height, equal light. But what happens in the real world may be slightly different. What I notice with people is we would create a best pathway, but that's not always what happens. So, predict, assess, and correct. What I'd like you to do is you're going to do some dry fire drills, and you're going to draw and watch how your dot or your front sight enters the target. Not how you want it to, and don't slow down and make it happen, but watch how it enters the target. Does it come in from the right? Does it come in from the top? Does it come in from the bottom? Does it come in from the left? Whatever position it comes in from, that's what you're going to do. You'll need to do probably at least 20 or 30 draws, because when you first start doing this, you're going to create things to happen that you don't need to. Like, you're going to slow down or you're going to over grip on one side. What I want to do is see how the sights are really coming in. Now, you're doing this in dry fire, and as you do it in dry fire, you're going to draw these pathways. So you can see this one here looks like a mathematical sign, all right? But that's how my dot shows up when I do it well. It drops in from the top. Sometimes it goes a little further and comes back up. That's okay. Needs no correction from me. Occasionally it comes in all the way from the right, and sometimes it comes in all the way from the left. Now, I've given these words, all right? This one is a lack of balance, and the balance is my right hand is being dominant, my left hand is fighting for it, and my right trigger is very stiff, so I just call it no balance. Now, when you, I don't see this one very often, but I put it up there, so I don't worry about it very much. But I do see this one, and I call this one all right. You need to come up with your own name, because it's going to be, we're going to hang multiple points of information. We're going to chunk information off of it. So the all right for me is my right hand is being completely dominant, my left hand's along for the ride, and I pull it over to the right side. Maybe my body posture is to the right. Everything is on the right side and not the left, so I'm looking to bring it in. What happens is the dot comes in from the right side and I drive it towards the center of the target. Now, as soon as you do this in dry, you want to go do it live, and that's what I did. And I shot about a magazine full live to see if it held up. I'm very fortunate my dry practice and my live fire are very similar. You may not have that. You may see a completely different pattern when you go to live fire. We're trying to true the model. We want to get them as close together as possible. That means that the dry should represent the live and the live should represent the dry. But oftentimes it's not the case, because you have a little bit more of stress because you're worried about the outcome, or maybe you're pushing on the gun because of recoil. You may change things a little bit. Mine held very true this time, which is good because I've been on the road a lot, so I haven't gotten a lot of live practice lately. And what I did was, it came out just the same way. I had one here that was no balance, and one that was really late I let push all the way across. So out of 20 rounds, that's not enough for me to pay attention to. It's 10% of the total. But I had a bunch of them that were all rights. They all came in from the right. So I'd say about 7, 8 rounds over here came in from the right side. So I really have to pay attention to that. And it was always let go. Let the right arm go. Let the trigger finger relax. When I worry about the outcome, what I do is bear down with the right side of my body. And since predominantly you're going to be much stronger on your dominant side, 70%, then it's overcoming everything else, and it's pulling the gun off to the right. It's tensing to the right. Could be a drive to the left later, but today it's to the right. And then when I shot perfectly, you can see it. They're dropping right along this pattern and they're hitting right here. And that's what I want to encourage. I want to see that. If I predict it and it comes in that way and I assess it, I just let it be. But if it's this thing, I have a correction waiting in my mind. It's sitting there waiting for me. I already know what it needs to do. When I see that dot over the right side, I let go a little bit. I relax and create connection to the gun, and it fixes itself. The advantage of this drill is that you're going to have a correction waiting that's actually appropriate to the task. What I find with a lot of shooters is they get so much conflicting information. It should be this, it should be that, it should be this. They're holding 5 or 6 things in a queue, and the rule of 3 says that we can't do that. So I'm holding one thing in queue, is either relax the right side or balance it between the right and left, and everything else just shoot the gun. And that becomes my predict, assess, and correct. This will be the stage 1 of learning the shot call, because if I can see the sights entering in an appropriate manner, it's going to allow me to make better information of how it entered the target and left, and therefore I can make a much more valid shot calling of it. All right. Hope that helps you. Now, I know somebody are using different languages, predictive shooting, reactive shooting. This is not this. This is predicting how your draw stroke looks. This is from the draw only, from the holster every time. Do it dry 20 or 30 times. Do it live 20 or 30 times, and that should get you where you're going. I hope that gets you started on the pathway. If you learn to shot call, you're going to have the immediate feedback loop closed. So clear goal, be present, immediate feedback, and then challenge skill ratio. This is going to affect your immediate feedback, which will help you be more challenged, which will make you more present in your shooting. And if you have a clear goal of how you should shoot the target, then you will know exactly what to do as you draw the gun. All right, I'm Brian Hill with The Complete Combatant. You can find more information about us at thecompletecombatant.com. I'd like to thank my sponsors, of course, HK and Phlster, and we're partnered with Holosun also. All right, and as always, measure, refine, and perform.